I'm Bobby Cinema. I'm here to give a condolence to my father, sudarsan chavala. I know you don't even know. I don't. I know you don't know. I don't know. You don't remember. You don't know him, but you will be in a minute. My father just passed away a few hours ago, and I'm here to speak a condolence. I'm here to give you my tribute. Maybe you guys won't know who he is right now, but you will know him. You will know him in the future someday. You will know him. You will know. I'm sure you probably know him. I'm sure the people who know him back in Facebook or anywhere else right now. But he was a good man, a good guy who fought his whole life. You know, this guy was born in 1943 in February. He wanted to be a doctor. I never knew what country, but I know he went to. I know he was an intern when he came to America. The toughest. You know, I think he always told me the whole story, but he got his medical license at 1979. That's when I was born. He also grew up. He also traveled around a bit. He first went. He grew up in Tarragona, and met my mom about when he was like 29 or 30. When he was about, I think yeah, my father was born 1943. My mom was born 1954. They were 11 or 12 years older than him. Anyway, he was my doctor here from in Maryville Eye Clinic. He retired a couple of years ago. A lot of times I didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, but he always loved it. He always loved the Three Stooges, and he always been a good fighter. He always loved to. You know, he was always been a good man. There were a lot of stuff you know, right now I'm mourning right now, but I always wanted to tell you that he was a good guy. I had a movie called Bobby that my friend Beneath made. You know, my father put a lot of money in $10,000 in it. It was worth it, you know, to invest in this movie, and we're gonna be dedicating this movie pretty soon. You may not believe me now, but maybe you'll believe me in the future. Right now, I had a goal to reach 4,000 watch hours. Right now, right now, it barely even matters anymore. You know, reaching 4,000 watch hours is tough in YouTube right now. But the only thing I care about right now is making sure he was okay. You know, there are a few things you should know about him that he was a good eye surgeon and an eye doctor. I used to work for him a couple hours. He always taught me a lot. I used to be working the computer and filing a lot of times. He always I always had to do I always had to do the, you know, checking, you know, make sure somebody pays or make sure they file. I also put money in the bank for him. You know, he was a part vegetarian, but he usually eats meats on Thursdays or Fridays or Saturdays or Sundays. Sometimes when it's a meat day for him. He was also a good. He was also a smart. He was also a smart guy. Sudarsan chavala. There's a few men. There are a few guys on Earth. He had some breathing problems. He died because he had breathing problems for a while. It had been happening for a couple of weeks. Everyone in my town knows who he is. Probably in Kansas City or probably in Dallas. But he always kept his nose clean. He was always been smart. He always knew how to. He always knew how to run. He always knew how to handle finances. You know, dying is part of life sometimes, but it's tough to say goodbye a lot of times. You don't know when they're gonna pass away or when they're gonna die or when they live. You know, the guy wasn't. You know, the guy went to med school in India. It was in New Delhi. He also got a medical license in 1979. He interned in New York, and he also he was also an army doctor. Even they let the military. They also let doctors help out of the medical field. You know, he was a major in the U.S. Army, and that was in Leavenworth. You know, Leavenworth had a military base there. He worked there in the military. He moved up the rank from major back then. They let doctors in the field back then. Then he moved his private practice in 1984 in Maryville. I had to live in a small green house before this house was fixed. I'm not gonna give you my address because I like to keep it private right now because there was so much stuff. A guy like him, so much stuff I always wanted to say to him. I always wanted to tell him how proud I am of him. I know he always said it to me a few times, but even though a lot of times I never knew if he ever meant it or not. Take like these YouTube videos I'm doing. At the times, I don't know if you would think of it's a waste of time, and at the times, I don't know if anybody's even watching. I could have 20 or a million viewers right now, and nobody even knows if we exist. It's not like besides people have YouTube videos every day, but it's not like paparazzi are gonna come over and want to say hello to me, or ever want to put me down. Right now, everyone is grieving, and I'm grieving really hard. Right now, I try to cry a lot of times, but the only thing I can do is just be sad right now and think about who he was and how he lived. He lived a good life. He always wanted to be a doctor, and he lived it. I don't know, to tell you the truth, I never asked about his dream, but I think his big dream was to be a doctor. And he loved it very much. A lot of people told me I looked like him, but I never saw the resemblance, but I think, I think right now, every time I look at those pictures, right there, I think I do look like him. Sudarsan Chavala was a good man. And if you guys want to have any comments about what to say to him, let me know. Give me some comments right now. You can look him up on Facebook. All you have to do is type in Sudarsan Chavala and tell you miss him. I know you don't. I know you never met him, but leave a condolence. I'm leaving condolences for my mom right now, but right now she needs to be alone. People right now are thinking about what to do with death. I always think about Queen Elizabeth. She passed away. Take like Coolio, and they were good people. I look at Coolio. There were a couple things I wish he had. I wish I could tell him. Take like Jimmy Carter. He's still alive, and a lot of times I would, if I had 1 minute to meet him, I wanted to tell him that he was a good president, that he was the best. If I ever met Queen Elizabeth for one day, or if I had a couple of minutes with her, I would tell her that she was an excellent queen, and she was an excellent leader, and her son Charles was the best man for the job. Right now, I think, and right now, I always keep thinking about King Charles right now. I don't know how long he's going to live, or how long he's going to live, but the way I looked at him, he probably outlive all of us too, like Queen Elizabeth. He'll probably be 100 when he'll be a king. He'll probably be 100 when he rules. Right now he's 73, and I bet he'll pass. I have no idea when he's going to pass away, but the way you look, I think he probably outlive us all. We saw the millennium a million times. My father got to see the millennium. He got to see a lot of major events. He barely even remembers the major events, but I got to see Ronald Reagan. He got to see Ronald Reagan pass away. His favorite team was the Kansas City Chiefs. He led them when they won the Super Bowl back then. He got to do amazing things. Sometimes I always keep thinking about if he ever had a chance to write a book or write a story, I think he could get it published. Maybe he could do it better. I know, I'm just... You know, lots of. Well, I have no idea what to say now, but I wanted to wish you all good luck right now. This is Bobby Cinema. Goodbye and good luck. And don't forget to send condolences. You know, leave a comment. Or at least put down a like back then. Or look them up on Facebook and and say we miss you. Or you don't have to. Or just say it was good to that we miss you. This is Bobby Cinema. Goodbye and good luck.